Perfect. Hello, welcome to Monday's Little Red Door Cancer Agency Door to Wellness Cooking Demonstration. My name is Heather Tallman, and I'm here today with Little Red Door's Tiffany Kerrigan, and we are going to be making 2 healthy smoothie recipes that are very easy and a great way to sneak in fruits and greens and sometimes even vegetables to your family without them even knowing it. It's like a sneaky, healthy drink. But today we're going to make a berry smoothie that has berries and banana, which is like a great formula for most smoothies. And then we're also going to make a green smoothie, and it's going to have good stuff in there that's green, and you're not even going to know it. So it's a nice little fake-out smoothie. So before I get started, I'll let Tiffany introduce Little Red Door a little bit, and then I'll go through the ingredient list and show you how you can make these yourself. If at any point in time you want to come up and get our recipe cards, we have them sitting up here. And on the back, it also has ways that you can share your experience today with Little Red Door, and also contact them if you have any needs for your own self or family for their services. So please go ahead and come up and grab one anytime, and I'll go ahead and let Tiffany share a little bit about Little Red Door.
All right, how many of you are familiar with Little Red Door? Have you heard of us? A few people? Okay, great. Well, we are a local nonprofit cancer agency, and we serve Central Indiana, so we have an 8-county service area. And we provide a lot of services to those that have various cancer needs in Central Indiana. However, as Heather mentioned, our cooking demonstrations fall within our Door to Wellness programming, which is our newest program. Every Tuesday and Thursday, survivors, their caregivers, and those that are in active treatment can come into our office, receive a complimentary massage, and take a yoga class by an oncology-trained yoga instructor. And it's completely free, no out-of-pocket costs there. There's actually no out-of-pocket costs for any of our services. But we also do monthly cooking demonstrations at our office, and Heather leads those for us. She's absolutely fabulous. I have to admit, when I found out we were doing the smoothies, I was really excited about it. I love smoothies. I'm not a big breakfast eater, so if I can prep stuff and just throw it in the blender in the morning and take something on the road, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice, especially if you have picky eaters or you don't really, like Tiffany mentioned, have a whole lot of time in the morning to sit and prep a meal, but you want to get your protein and your fiber in and you want to drink it as you go. I think it's a great breakfast to start your day, or maybe a great addition or dessert to go with your meals. One thing about the berry smoothie, right now it's spring. I'm sorry, it is so not spring. Right now, berries are really in season and cheaper, especially berries coming from Michigan. So a lot of times you can find blueberries really cheap. If you can't, another great way to make this smoothie more frothy and icy is to use frozen berries. Today we're using frozen berries. It doesn't matter if you use fresh or frozen, because all brands of frozen fruit are washed and frozen just like if you were doing it yourself at home. If you happen to stumble upon some berries that are a great price, my suggestion is to wash them and then spread them out on a cookie sheet like this that has parchment paper on it, and stick it in your freezer and let them freeze like little individual pieces. So then you can just scoop up what you want when you want it, and it's not a big blueberry log. I keep that in a Ziploc bag in the freezer. I write on there June blueberries and put it in there, and then I can grab what I want when I want it. Another thing I do, and this is good especially if you have bananas that are too ripe, I will go ahead and get my cookie sheet out, and I'll peel my banana and cut it into little 1-inch chunks and lay it in a single layer on the cookie sheet that's covered with parchment, freeze it, and that's just like with the berries. Then you could throw those banana chunks in a bag, take them out whenever you need them, and they're perfect for smoothies like this, because the more cold things you use, the less ice that you have to use. And ice, you know, is great, but it's also kind of going to water your smoothie down just a little bit as well. So I say use what works for you, but if you've got some fruits that are maybe needing to be saved, you can put them in the freezer. That's kind of the way I preserve food, because I can take it out, or my kids can take it out whenever they want and make a smoothie for themselves.
How long does that typically last, frozen fruit in the freezer?
Well, we usually go through it, I would say, in less than 2 months, but 3 to 6 months is probably the window for fresh frozen fruit. I like to, and I'm not a big think ahead meal planner, but what I do is I will take a cookie sheet that's lined, and I'll put a couple bananas on there that are chunked and peeled so they can freeze, and I'll lay out my pre-portioned amount of berries, and I'll freeze it. When it's frozen, put it in a bag, and then that's 1 smoothie or 2 smoothies. And then you know you just need to add a cup of yogurt and a half a cup of milk or a little bit of orange juice, and that way anyone in your house, so not just the main person always stuck cooking, anyone in your house can make a smoothie anytime. And it's thinking ahead a little bit, but it's easy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ingredients for this particular fresh berry and banana smoothie, it makes about 2 cups, so it's 1 to 2 servings, depending on what you consider to be a serving. I am going to put in 1 cup of frozen or fresh mixed berries. I have frozen mixed berries. We have blackberry, raspberry, blueberry, and strawberry. Add that to a blender.
I definitely like the medley. However, sometimes I'll just go straight for the strawberries and put in banana.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And now I'm putting in a whole banana. And next, I'm going to add a half a cup of low-fat vanilla yogurt. That's pretty much a whole container of vanilla yogurt. Now, if you would prefer, you could use just plain yogurt, but just know it tastes like plain yogurt. So this adds a little bit of vanilla flavor to it. It asks for a half a cup. That's about the size of this container. This is a 5-ounce container.
And you're using Greek yogurt, correct?
I am. I think it has more protein. I think it's better in smoothies. It usually has less sugar and less fat. It just depends on which kind and brand you're looking at. I like that one for this particular recipe.
I think the big difference between Greek yogurt and regular yogurt has higher calcium in it, but it has a lot more calories than Greek yogurt. So if you're looking to cut your calories, like you said, Greek yogurt's definitely the way to go.
For sure. And I'm not a big fan of eggs. I don't eat eggs a lot in the morning, and I know they're actually probably one of the best ways to start your day, eggs and fiber. So I can get my protein from this smoothie with the Greek yogurt. Next, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of orange juice. Now, I know I'm using a dry measure. My mom would say, Heather, no, that's not a liquid measure. But that's what we have up here. So that's what we're using. It's close enough. Now, if you don't want to use orange juice, if you'd rather use milk, I think whole or 2% milk is a great substitution here. If you want to give it a little bit of a tropical flair, you can add a little bit of coconut water. I can tell you I have no idea if this is good for you or not. I just know it's not bad for you. And every smoothie seems like someone's got coconut water in it. I do like the way it tastes. What nutritional properties it has, I don't know. I mean, are there many? I don't know. I just know it's not bad for you. So
it adds a lot of flavor.
It adds a lot of flavor. And it's literally straight from the coconut, so you can't go wrong there. You can also add soy milk. If you guys are a no-dairy family, then you could also use Silk yogurt. Silk soy milk makes a yogurt as well. Or if you're into almond milk, you can add almond milk. So there's lots of options to bulk this up. And last, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of honey. You could leave this step out if you're not a fan of honey. I think it adds just a tiny little bit of sweetness. But again, you can leave that out if it's not for you.
And we talked about agave nectar might be a good substitute if you don't want honey instead of putting sugar. When you're making smoothies with fruit, there's already so much sugar already added in the fruit that you really don't need a whole lot of sweetness added.
That's true. I'm going to add a few little blocks of ice.
Now, I wanted to ask about the almond milk. If I were to use almond milk and it's strawberry flavor, you can use different flavors. I noticed that one was vanilla. Would you have to have your yogurt match that, or could you then go with plain yogurt and have a flavored milk?
I think that's kind of up to you. I think if I were making a berry smoothie, I might even use strawberry yogurt or a strawberry milk. If that's what you have, that's what your kids like. I kind of like to keep it the same, but that's just the straight lines type A in me speaking.
Maybe.
It's almost impossible to talk over this.
Well, it may or may not mix. This is our first time using this blender, so please bear with us.
Like, it's a blender. It probably works. I know. I might.
Now, I always do that. I always add more liquid to it after I start blending it, because I don't like mine to be as thick.
Yeah. Well, if you're using a straw. We have movement. Where's that Vitamix dealer out here when you need him? Someone run to the expo building. I did get a little worried there. I was like, and this is what you do. Use your imagination.
That looks really good.
Now this is probably a good time to say, if you have a magic bullet, now I'm not, I get no money for mentioning this, but we have a magic bullet at home. It's very easy to use. I think you mentioned you have a NutriBullet possibly?
I have a Ninja.
A Ninja?
And I love it.
They're safe for kids to use. I put it out there. I tell the boys, hey, we've got the stuff you want for smoothies. My kids are 17 and 13, and they can make their own. We've taken it on vacations. It's pretty safe to use. You can't really get at the sharp pieces, but a magic bullet works wonders. I don't know what this is. Let's not share what kind it is. So that's really all there is for the berry smoothie. You have the bananas, berries, yogurt, a little bit of ice, a little bit of honey, a little bit of orange juice. And the thing about a smoothie is, I'm sure like anything, you could load it up and all of a sudden it's no longer good for you. If you're adding sugar to it or sugar sweetened fruit or a lot of yogurt that has high sugar and that kind of thing, like this one container alone has 12 grams of protein. That's pretty amazing for a smoothie. So you just want to have balance. I try to have 75% ingredients and 25% liquid. So I want to bulk it up with a whole banana with berries. Why not just use as much as you want? I try to use about a cup if I'm making it for me, and that's about how much this is. So it's an easy ratio to remember, and I think pretty tasty.
I think what we love at Little Red Door, what we love about recipes like this is it's packed with antioxidants. So we always look at the antioxidant properties of any dish we prepare, talking about lowering your risk for cancer through eating a healthy diet, for example. If you're over near Celebration Park, we have our Big Red Bash experience over there, and we're talking a lot about cancer prevention through healthy lifestyles, not only eating healthy, but being active, avoiding tobacco, and protecting your your skin against sun damage, which with the sun being as hot as it is this summer, it's important to wear sunscreen when you're outside.
Okay, so feel free at any point in time to come up and grab a sample. We also have the recipe cards. And in just a second, we're going to get started on the next one, which is the I Promise It Tastes Good green smoothie. I added that little part in the front. It's not what it's really called. It's really called basic green smoothie, but it does really actually taste good. Okay. So the next one up is the green smoothie. Now the ingredient list for this might be a lot of things that you already have or wouldn't have thought to put together in the same blender. We have a banana, half a banana, a cup and a half of green grapes. I love these big fat green globe grapes. They just put off a lot of great flavor. 1 medium orange peeled. Now, if you have a fancy blender, you might be able to put the whole orange in there and use the peel and all. This one, I'm not going to chance it after the last one we did. I don't want to take a chance of making that mistake again. But you can go ahead, like for example, I have a Vitamix at home. You could put the whole thing. You can just cut it into quarters and put it in there. I'm just going to go ahead and peel it. If you have clementines at home, you could use those. They'd be really good in this.
Those are a lot easier to peel as well.
They are, as I'm like peeling it, squirting it in my face. And then also, I'm going to use some fresh pineapple. Now, I have fresh pineapple because it was on sale at Marsh when I bought it. You can also use canned pineapple if you've got it. I mean, why not use what you have? Drain it really well. You also can, rinse it off if you want to rinse off a little bit of that sugary canned residue. But my opinion is use what you have. Then the really healthy part that makes everyone say, oh no, is I'm going to use a cup and a half of spinach, fresh spinach. I could make this and not tell you, and you probably wouldn't even know, but using baby spinach is the way to go. You don't want to use the big thick stuff that maybe you grew in your garden. You want to use a nice tender spinach that's not been left on the plant for a long time. And I use bagged spinach. If I were making smoothies every day, this bag would last me at least for the week. And I bought it today. It was $1.19. That's hard to beat.